Can you confirm with News Nation that you're running for president?
Boy, that would be a nice confirmation, wouldn't it? There'd be a lot of people that would be very upset about that. But I think you're going to be very happy. I think people are going to be very happy at what I do. I was going to do something last night, actually, that would have made the place really happy. And so we're doing it a few days later. And I think people are going to be very happy, very impressed.
To your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power.
In order to make America great and glorious again, I am tonight announcing my candidacy for President of the United States.
There's breaking news out of Palm Beach, Florida. Former President Trump says his Mar-a-Lago home there is being raided by the FBI.
For the first time ever, a former president of the United States has been indicted.
Former President Donald Trump indicted for a second time.
A federal grand jury indicted former President Donald Trump. It marks the third time the former president has been indicted.
Breaking news on former President Trump. He's been indicted for the fourth time in 5 months.
Breaking news, this is an image that will be in the history books. This is the mugshot of the 45th President of the United States.
The optics of this is working to his advantage. Look.
Breaking news from Colorado, where the state Supreme Court has just disqualified former President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 felony counts.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Take a look at what happened.
The next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I proudly accept your nomination for president of the United States.
Let Trumpomania run wild, brother!
So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation.
She's going to my philosophy now. In fact, I was going to send her a MAGA hat. They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Investigation underway after the second assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump.
As I was saying,
as you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Get in there.
Let's go! I want to be a whale psychiatrist. I'm going for a job right now at McDonald's. I really wanted to do this all my life. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
The only garbage I see floating out there is your supporters.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Here are our first projections. There, NBC News projects that Donald Trump has won the presidential election in Kentucky, Indiana. In West Virginia, Donald Trump is the winner. Florida, Tennessee, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arkansas, Texas, North Dakota, South Dakota. NBC News also projects a winner in the Wyoming presidential race, Mississippi, Louisiana, Ohio, Kansas, Utah, Montana, Iowa, the state of Nebraska in the presidential contest, Idaho. The first swing state is North Carolina, going to Donald Trump. Donald Trump has prevailed in the presidential race in Georgia. Pennsylvania. NBC now projects he is the winner of Michigan and its 15 electoral votes.
Donald Trump is the winner in Alaska, picking up 3 more electoral votes.
Donald Trump has won the state of Wisconsin. He is the winner of this race and will return to the White House as this country's 47th president.
Hey, look what happened. Is this crazy?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome into CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime Mage, I. of Unit 199. Happy to see all of you here on a Thursday. A lot going on, a lot of breaking news going on. It's going to be an interesting show, to say the least. Hope you're all doing well. And Mullin says pre-stream grift tax, chat grift tax. The fact that a pork chop sandwich exists at Culver's is still fucking with me. Dude, I'll be honest. I haven't been able to sleep well since the revelation that X-Wing got a pork chop sandwich at Culver's. I just... Why? Why? Why would you do that? It's just bad. Everything about it is bad. I reject the premise alone. It's awful, but we will overcome. We will have adversity. Midnight Lights is Jeremy Osteen, Mage IDOT of the 199. Kate Banfield says pregame grift tax. McCox is going to be in Orlando. Won't be at MegaCon though. But give me a reminder of when the Universal Meetup is and what time. Plug yo shit. There is all of the information right there. All right. Saturday night, 7 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. at Universal City Walk, Pat O'Brien's. And right now, I would say we may have 20 or 30 RSVP spots left, and that's it. Right now, based on my guess, this might be the biggest meetup we've ever done. I'm actually worried about the space. I mean, again, we have plenty of overflow, so I'm not worried about space overall, but I'm worried about space at the actual event. This is going to be crazy. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also like I'm kind of stressing out a little bit, just a little bit. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Time will tell. Okay. Let me see. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys out there. It'll be awesome. Taco Woman Sandy Rafford says, fire Bondi. Matt says, still driving. My mom is hyped on morphine. Lol. Hopefully I'll make it, but she isn't in pain. Also, ever watched Bob Moraine show? No, I haven't, but I'm glad you're having a safe drive, brother. So have a safe drive and keep us posted. Hopefully hopefully you make it there, and it'll be great. Hopefully, I think you will, because you got to drive safe. Chuck says, never will I ever forget being there the day Trump was almost killed. MAGA forever. Cobra. GP Bailey says, can you fire Beardo since he is the one that brought X-Wing into the fold? Honestly, that's not a bad idea. I'm going to consider that. Somebody sent me an edit of that, and shout out to him. I already talked to him about it. This edit is pretty on point. It's pretty short. We have one on clips too. So, if you guys want to go check out but this is a shorter version of it, and, of the X-Wing moment. It's just so bad. X-Wing should be ashamed of himself. He really should. It's truly one of the worst things in the history of existence. And he should be ashamed. I'm not sure we should ever speak with him again, to be fair. Okay. This is one of the worst moments in history. And we're going to probably have to replace X-Wing. Here we go. Food right now.
I just
Don't
had
fucking
Culver's
bring
for
it
the
Culver's
first
up.
time yesterday.
Wait.
Whoa! Where? What were you doing? What happened?
No, I was going to trigger.
Wait, what was the agenda? What was the occasion?
The wife was out of town.
True.
Okay. All right. She's in San Diego. Me and the baby was like, I'm not going home cooking lunch. Why don't, since we're out and it's close by, why don't we go try this place Culver's everyone's talking about?
Right. The small burger chain.
So I went and checked, and the first thing I was surprised by was the length and girth of the menu.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Hold on a
What
second.
the hell is
Okay.
it?
All
All
right.
right.
Make Culver's gay.
You had me in the first half there.
So I'm looking at the menu and I'm looking through all the burgers. I don't see anything that really piques my interest.
Bacon butter burger. What are you fucking doing?
Burger.
Bacon butter burger.
I'm going through all of everything and I'm like, all right, I don't know what this is about. And then my eye rolls upon a sandwich that I've never seen on a fast food menu ever before.
Hold on a second. If you got anything other than a fucking burger,
yeah,
I'm gonna fucking shit my pants. X-Wing, what did you get?
What have you done?
This is I
got
get
like
the
a
kid. I get the kid the chicken tendies, right? With fries.
Yeah.
I got myself the pork chop sandwich.
But
And then I went home and I slathered a whole shitload of hot sauce on the pork chop sandwich.
You added stuff.
oh, man.
That's a chicken place.
How many times have we fucking said the fucking burger at Culver's is S tier?
Burger.
Damn. You know what? That pork chop sandwich was delicious, and I'm not apologizing.
I'm sure it was good.
Hold on. That's because Culver's is fucking delicious.
Yeah, I'm sure it was good.
Well,
everything is
next time I go, I'll try a butter burger.
No, stop yourself.
No, it's done. It's already done.
I don't want you to go. You don't fucking deserve Culver's, okay? You have to remove a fucking panel off the menu to find the fucking pork chop sandwich. And that's the shit that you fucking ordered?
We should have seen this coming. He opened up the conversation with, have you guys seen the girth of the menu?
That is true. There it is right there. There's the butter.
Oh, my
I don't have one here.
Here's the thing. It looks exactly like that when you get it.
There's no good picture of it because nobody fucking wants it.
The last time someone ordered it was like 2006.
I've had Culver's more than I can remember.
Yes.
I didn't know they had a pork chop.
You never had one.
This is what happens when you have bad friends.
Hey, do not put this on me.
Would you put this
Do not. I had no part of this. I wasn't invited. If I was invited, I would have fucking beat him up.
So what I did, because I know that how much Culver's means to Jeremy.
Shut the fuck up. I did not tell X-Wing to get a fucking pork chop sandwich. If I knew X-Wing was going to Culver's and he said, what do I get? It's a double bacon butter burger and a fucking story. Okay? Don't put this shit on me.
Go ahead, Bill. I texted Jeremy.
No, fuck Bill. We're not putting this on me.
Yeah, but if you go to
I'm
Culver's,
the
what should I
fast
get?
food burger connoisseur.
Why did you do this to me, Beardo?
I have no part of this. It's good.
Man. X-Wing texted Beardo, and Beardo's like, get the pork chop sandwich.
Didn't happen. Fake news.
Great edit right there. So yeah, good stuff indeed, man. I'm very, very, very upset by this whole situation. I haven't been able to sleep well. I'm having problems. I'm stressed out. I can't believe somebody decided to go to Culver's for the first time and have a fucking pork chop sandwich. What is wrong with you, X-Wing? What is wrong with you? You are horrible. You are a terrible person, and you deserve to be shamed every day forever. Rip Dub says, we going to throw hands over the Culver's pork chop sandwich. LFG. Let's go. No, but the butter burger, that's the way to go. All right. It's the greatest burger, fast food burger ever. It's unmatched. It's the S tier of S tier burgers. Bright Matt says, hey, Jeremy, keep up the great content. Hail to 199. Thank you so much. Evil Black Cat says, send this clip to Culver's, free advertisement. They'll denounce me quicker than Zack Snyder. They'll denounce me quicker than Snyder did. Guns and Butter says, shut the F up and take my money, tax. Python Bacon says, there is no coming back from a pork chop sandwich. Exactly. There isn't. But there's also there's no coming back from the situation we're dealing with today. Because if you read all the headlines, Kristi Gnome has been fired by Trump. Now, I am going to call into question her being fired because that's what the headlines are saying. Trump is not framing it as her being fired. So let's just make that very clear. All the headlines are running as she was fired. All the clickbait YouTube videos are running as she was fired. Look, I do think that Trump was unhappy with her, but we've seen Trump fire people before. All right. I don't think this is an outright firing. This is definitely a shifting of positions, whether you want to determine if it's a promotion or a demotion, that's up for interpretation. But she was not like fired in the way that it's being presented. But we're going to go over all of this. However, regardless as to what happened about her new position, the fact remains that a man replaced her in that position, and that is always a positive, okay? That is always a positive. So having a man replace a woman in a top-level position is always going to be a positive. So here we go.
After a difficult couple of days on Capitol Hill in both the House and the Senate for Kristi Gnome, the Homeland Security Secretary, she is being replaced. Senator Mark Wayne Mullin is now going to take over her job. The president making the announcement on Truth Social.
Now, Mark Wayne Mullin is an awesome, awesome guy. So he's a good dude.
Short time ago, he writes, quote, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Mark Wayne Mullin, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st of this year. The current Secretary, Kristi Gnome, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, which is a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere that they're announcing on Saturday at Doral in Florida. President says, I thank
Shield of Americas is kind of a cool name. I will say, Shield of Americas. It's kind of a cool name.
Kristi for her service at Homeland. So this comes amid reports that the president was none too pleased about the advertising campaign money.
Yeah, I got it. Freed on Corpse. I got it. Thank you, man.
Sandra. And so just in the last 24 hours, we've heard a lot of rumors that Mark Wayne Mullin may be tapped for DHS. And now it appears the president has made that decision, and that's going to happen at the end of the month.
Yeah, there was some reporting leading up to this that this could be the case. No confirmation had been made by the president himself until now, but there was reports of frustration inside the White House over some of the actions taken on the part of.
Look, I do think that like Kristi Gnome, so easy to look at, easy on the eyes, always a positive. Okay, all right, that's a positive. We're happy about that. I don't really have a problem with Kristi Gnome. However, she definitely does have an element of a look at me mentality. Let me make this, let me dress up and let me, kind of present myself for the cameras. She just has that kind of element, not inherently bad, but she does have that going on.
Kristi Gnome, looking at the announcement, though, and looking at the touting President Trump does of Mark Wayne McMillan's record, 10 years in the U.S. House of Representatives, 3 in the Senate. The president says he's done a tremendous job with the people of Oklahoma. As the president pointed out, somewhere he did very well. So obviously this is breaking news. Just now, President Trump making the formal announcement that DHS Secretary Kristi Gnome will be replaced, John.
And also the president taking note of Mark Wayne Mullin's status as a former undefeated professional MMA fighter, also the only Native American in the Senate. Let's bring in Jackie Heinrich. She's at the White House. The timing of this, I guess, was a little bit of a surprise. We didn't expect it quite this soon, but it was certainly expected.
Well, John, this president has been reluctant to shuffle his staff since really early in his second term when he moved National Security Advisor Mike Waltz over to Ambassador of the UN. Since then, he's kept all of his folks sort of in position, weathered whatever criticism comes their way. And Kristi Gnome, the DHS secretary, has faced a turbulent period in the last few weeks amid the fallout, the response to the ICE deportation campaign in Minnesota, some public statements that she made. And then most recently this week, her testimony on Capitol Hill, there were reports that her defense of her campaign, her ad campaign, $200 million in spending that prominently featured her sometimes on horseback, claiming that the president, according to these reports, had approved of that, reportedly upset him. He wasn't happy about giving the impression that he had sort of authorized that amid this broader administration effort to root out fraud. So she's being moved now into another role.
So again, you've got Fox sitting here literally saying she's being moved to another role. President Trump has put out a statement complimenting her. And the media is running with this, saying she was fired. And of course, 95% of everybody that sees that headline, they're just going to run with that headline because we live in a TikTok world where everybody just responds to a headline. They don't actually look at anything. They don't care to do any research whatsoever. But that's what everybody's running with.
The special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, a new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere that they're announcing on Saturday. The president's been, defensive of Kristi Gnome for the last several.
She was fired. They always talk like that. No, the fuck they don't, retard. If you've ever seen how Trump acts when he actually fires somebody, he doesn't compliment them and he doesn't keep them on staff. You stupid fuck. When Trump fires people, he fires them and then he fucking shames them. And then he talks shit about them and says they're an idiot. That's how Trump treats people that he fires. He's not nice to people that he fires.
Several weeks as she's faced questions about her ability to carry out her duties. He regularly pointed to the success closing the southern border, the fact that there have been no illegal immigrants caught and released into the interior of the U.S. for several months, the fact that overdoses and murders are at historic lows, and pointed to those successes to sort of boost her up and defend keeping her in place. But it seems like that testimony on Capitol Hill might have been a turning point. There were also some reports that FEMA funding that was stalled suddenly came through after questioning. And so this is a rapid development, of course, and something we didn't expect until potentially after the midterms. This is a strange time for the president to make that major of a shakeup. But there was, sort of the writing on the wall after he elevated Tom Homan, his border czar, to take a more prominent role in the ICE deportation campaign. It's well reported that there's been a long-standing rift between Homan and Gnome.
I will buy the hoodie just for that, Jeremy. Hey, I'll start cussing people in the chat out more if I can sell more hoodies. So I am 100% okay with that.
About how this should be handled, sort of the firmer approach versus the softer touch that Homan went in and sort of cleaned up amid all of that public scrutiny over what transpired in Minnesota. Of course, the policy still stands. The president's policy and the goal of deporting any illegal immigrant in the country and certainly prioritizing those who are guilty of crimes does still stand. But the president faced questioning about how much he wanted to defend her. And it seems in the past few weeks that that patience might have worn out.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that Trump probably had some issues with Gnome. There's no doubt about it. If you watch her hearings the other day, it didn't go great. The optics were not good. There was a lot there that just did not play very well. And I haven't even seen all of it, but I've seen some of it. And so there were definitely some issues in that, especially like when Kennedy was questioning her. It didn't go great for her. And I think there's been some missteps for sure. So, yeah, he probably was unhappy with some elements. And bottom line is I like Mark Wayne Mullin. I think he's a former MMA fighter. So, he's a dude's dude. So it's going to be, he'll be good in this role, whatever the role is that she is being put into. I'm not like overly familiar with that, but it'll be fine. But again, people are going to run with this because whatever. Here's Josie says, Kristi wasn't fired. She is heading operations that involve Mexico and Cuba. Cuba will be the next one to fall in the coming months. Trump trusts her because most of our politicians are compromised. There you have it right there. See? I mean, again, there's nothing to suggest that she was blatantly fired, put in a new position. Whether that's a demotion or promotion is up for debate, but that's essentially where we are. Red Mate says, we don't have Culver's here in VA, but when I have to drive back and forth between here and Chicago for a certain con each year, I always stop at a specific one in Indiana. Butterburger and their shakes are good too. Yes, they are. Culver's is the best. Absolutely. 100%. Captain JPS says, I imagine the pork chop sandwich is that random sandwich you find in the back of the fridge wrapped in plastic and you picked it out because there was nothing else in the fridge. Absolutely. Ministry of Wrong Thing says, watch the replay on last night's stream. Not to be that guy, but considering that CBS MAGA poll is actually real, I think you owe Dr. Steve Turley an apology for calling him clickbait. No, it's just that you like, I can make anything. Like, I call my friends clickbait, okay? I call Josiah Rises clickbait because he is, and he knows it. Like, there's a way, like, today, I could have made a title that says Trump fires top female cabinet member and put a picture of Kristi Gnome and Pam Bondi. And holy fuck, you know the amount of views I would get right now. Trump fires major female cabinet member and put a picture of Kristi Gnome, Pam Bondi, and Trump with some, deal with it glasses. Everybody would be clicking on this shit. There'd be 10,000 people watching. There'd be 15, 20% calling me a clickbaiter. But you know what? I'd get the fucking views. I just hate doing that shit, man. Like, it's easy to do it. It doesn't make you a bad person. So, but I'm not apologizing for shit. Let's see here. Python Bang got that one. Flag Ninja says, X-Wing, I'm going to Culver's. Where do I start? Beardo, pork chop sandwich, then Butterburger. Lord Balta says, Xbox dropping a new gaming PC days after the PlayStation announced that they're going to do PC ports anymore. Ironic, isn't it? Yes, it is. Very, very. Okay, so we have right here, moments ago, Senator Mullin speaks to reporters. Here we go.
So the president and I, as you guys know, we're great friends, and we get along great. I look forward to working with him in his cabinet. Of course, we still got to go through this little thing called confirmation, and we're going to get started on it right away.
Tell us about the conversation. What did he say? Did he call you?
You guys have been with me long enough, asking enough questions. You know I don't share private conversations.
Tell me your reaction. Tell me your reaction.
Are you going to the White House today?
I don't think I'm going today. I think I need to talk to my wife first.
Do you expect to get support from Democrats? Tell us your reaction when you got the phone call from him.
I was excited. I mean, when
you saw his name calling.
Well, it came from the White House, so it came from the switchboard. But I was excited. The president, first of all, the president, I have a really good relationship. We talk all the time, anyways. I've got to be honest with you, I wasn't expecting the call today, but super excited. And I'm more excited about just ready to get started. There's a lot of work we can do to get Department of Homeland Security working, working for the American people. The Department of Homeland Security has a very broad jurisdiction, and I think there's a lot of work that we need to do, and I'm excited about it.
Senator Fetterman says he's going to vote for you. Do you expect other Democrats to vote for you?
John already texted me, and of course you guys know John and I are friends too, and so I don't know. We're going to try to earn everybody's vote. I want people to understand. When I go into this position, yes, I'm a Republican. Yes, I'm conservative. But Department of Homeland Security is to keep everybody, regardless if you support me, if you don't support me.
I don't know what that sound is. It's not me.
I'm here to enforce the policies that Congress passed, and right now I'm part of it. But once I make that transition, my focus is to keep the homeland secure. That's going to be my focus, and we're super excited about this opportunity.
Any lessons learned from the past?
Senator Schumer said that the rot is throughout the agency, and that changing the head at the top may not necessarily change the culture of the agency. What do you tell Democrats?
I'm gonna have a conversation with if Mr. Schumer wants to sit down and talk to me. I'm going to sit down and talk to him. I want to try to earn their support, and I'm going to be very open and honest with them. And at the end of the day, all I can do is do my job. And so I'm not going to get in a tit for tat. But if they have real concerns, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to see if it's practical. But nothing's going to prevent me from doing my job. I'm going to enforce the policies and the laws that Congress has passed, and we're going to protect our homeland.
Shit's annoying.
Immigration enforcement.
I'm going to take one more, and then I need to go.
Thank you, Senator. Just looking at some of the criticism that Gnome has faced, is there any learning lessons that you have picked up from Gnome and the ways in which you want to lead the agency?
Listen, Kristi is a friend, and I haven't had time to call Kristi yet, and our Secretary Gnome, and our families are friends. She was tasked to do a very difficult job, and I think she has performed the best she can do underneath the circumstances. Is there always lessons to be learned? Listen, my wife and I, we have, over the years, we have been fortunate enough to purchase companies and grow our companies, and every day there's something you can do better. And so I think there's an opportunity to build off successes, and there's also opportunities to build off things that maybe didn't go quite as planned. So,
all right, so now we have this video where the headline is Gnome speaks after Trump firing. So here we go.
Okay, now Gnome's taking questions. Let's go back to Gnome.
You sure can. Yes, sir. Yes. Oh, thank you.
Can't hear anything these reporters are saying. What's the point of these fucking press conferences if you're not going to mic up the reporters so we can hear them?
Mm-hmm.
Steven says, I'll miss seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, reporter, shut the fuck up and just let her talk.
But he talked about targeted enforcement, and Rob was saying how it's much more effective in a lot of, especially these sanctuary cities, where we can work on targeting those individuals who have a criminal history besides their legal status that may be in violation of their visa or work permit, but that we work on those and make sure we're going out and doing that with the local law enforcement as much as we possibly can. And that is something that we are going to continue to do, and make sure that we're focusing and prioritizing those individuals and make sure that we're addressing the public safety threats there. Thank you. Yes, sir.
All right, well, I'm not going to sit here. Like, I can't hear anything they're saying. I can't get any context to it. It's annoying the shit out of me. So
some other tax benefits for other, so that may be something we could wrap into that conversation. Great idea. Perfect. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Madam Secretary.
There,
my name is
finally.
Chris Galligan. I'm the Vice President of San Francisco Police Officers Association. First of all, I just want to say thank you for recognizing major cities and all of our police unions here across the nation. It means a great deal for you to be here today, so thank you for that. My question, local officers have increasingly been on the front lines of Homeland Security, yet we are still funded and staffed like a city responsibility, not a national one. How will DHS ensure local agencies aren't carrying federal priorities on local budgets and with local staff?
So you maybe have some challenges in San Francisco just because of your state laws and local laws that may, although you've got a mayor that works with us very well.
That's great.
He probably doesn't want me to talk about it a lot, actually, but he has been cooperative, and we have great conversations and talk quite often. And many times in doing law enforcement in your city, if the federal task force is coming in, it's more preferable for the FBI to lead and the Department of Homeland Security to come in supportive roles, which is what we've done. And that works very well in your city. Thank you for your focus there too. I think the city is seeing some dramatic improvements under this leadership. When you talk about funding, we have tied a lot of our funding that we have for enforcement this year and prioritized over $1.5 billion towards 287G agreements. So we've reimbursed departments that have an agreement, or a county or a sheriff, with funding them on overtime or on benefits, some of the other things that we can do. We've also, on the jail model, obviously reimbursed per beds. If you don't have the opportunity to participate in 287G, I think your best options for funding alternatives would be through some grants that we have at the department. We have specific grants towards terrorism grants that you can do, some security grants, and there's hazard mitigation grants that are in Homeland Security safety grants through FEMA that would be available. So maybe what I'll do is I will forward those grant opportunities to all of you so that you can share them with your departments and have that opportunity. We also have some grants specifically targeted towards special operations. So if you've got some special operations that...
And just so we're clear, so here's Trump's True Social talking about this. And again, where my point is that right here, he says, I'm pleased to announce the highly respected senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st, 2026. The current secretary, Gnome, who has served us well and has had numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, will be moving to a special envoy for the Shield of Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. We are announcing on Saturday in Doral, Florida. I thank Christie for her service at the homeland. Does that sound like a firing? Like, seriously, does it? Does that sound like Trump is pissed? Like, I'm sure that Trump is not happy with some things, but if he was not that happy, why is he keeping her on and putting her in charge of something else? People are fucking retarded, dude. They just hear a headline and they believe it because they're fucking stupid. Quit watching so much. TikTok has rewired people's brains so much that they have no ability to conceptualize anything anymore. They just see the headline and they run with it. Retarded ass people
that fit into that category. We could get you some funding that way.
Thank you, ma'am.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes. Hi, Craig. Yes.
One police officer and one sergeant called Border Patrol for assistance. And then after that happened, he tried to fire them for asking Border Patrol to come assist them.
Oh, shoot.
Most recently, they just suspended both officers for 30 days without pay.
The Border Patrol?
No,
Detroit those
police.
Officers in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit police. So the one incident was the female of the house called because the husband was trying to break into the house. When the officers got there, he had a bad passport and a bad social security card. So they called Border Patrol for assistance.
Mm-hmm.
They ended up taking him to jail because he had a warrant outside the city of Detroit. The second one was, it was a traffic stop. The finger.
Hey, do you guys remember when Trump fired Jeff Sessions? Do you remember him going, Jeff has done a great job. We respect him. No, he roasted Jeff Sessions. Holy crap, man. He absolutely roasted that dude. And him and Jeff Sessions were really close. Like really close. And he was pissed at him.
Reader wasn't working, so they called for them to bring theirs over there, and the person had a warrant also. So both officers got suspended without pay for 30 days.
So did the officers that did the arresting, was that the Detroit officers that did it, or did the Border Patrol?
Border Patrol ended up arresting them because one had an out the city warrant, and the other one had other information that.
Okay. That's one of the things that I think a lot of citizens.
If he was happy with her position, he would have kept her there. I mean, like that, you would have to add more context to that. So let's just say you're working, I don't know, at a warehouse and you're doing a good job and your boss comes up to you and says, hey, we'd like to promote you. Does that mean that if the boss was happy with the job the employee was doing, he would leave him in the position? What the fuck are you talking about? What stupid world do you live in? You're like, hey, if that boss is happy with that person, he'd keep him in that position. Do you know how promotions work? I'm not saying this is a promotion. I'm saying that your statement in isolation is retarded. That's what I'm saying. Now, I personally don't believe this is a promotion. I believe this could, at best, could be a lateral move. I don't believe this is a promotion per se. Maybe a lateral move, but that's about it. You know, that would be the best case scenario. Trump is live right now. He's not talking about this, but let's see what he's talking about.
We had really no choice. They were gonna hit us if we didn't hit them because they're crazy. And in the long term, the actions we're taking will dramatically increase the stability of the region and oil prices and stock markets and everything else. You know, we set the all-time record in history with the Dow going to 50,000. So Dow was at 50,000. It was supposed to be maybe, if we were lucky, within by the end of my presidency in 4 years. And we did it in my first year. We did the S&P 500. We did that in a period of less than a year. And that was even tougher than the Dow, they said, so it wasn't going to happen. But we have a great country. We have a country that's never done this well. We've had tremendous success in so many different ways. I built the military and rebuilt it in my first term, and we're using it more than I'd like to use it, to be honest with you. But when we used it, we found out it certainly did work. When we look at Venezuela, when we look at the first attack, Midnight Hammer in Iran, which really set the stage for what we're doing right now, it's been pretty amazing. And I'm once again calling on all members of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, the military, and the police to lay down their arms. They're only going to be killed. And now is the time to stand up for the Iranian people and help take back your country. You're going to have a chance after all these years to take back your country. Accept immunity. We'll give you immunity. And we'll be giving you really the right side of history, because that's what it is. So you'll be...
Okay, so he's just giving talking points right now. I've got something more pressing to talk about, and I just got an update on the thing that I wanted to talk about, because I was ready to go after Trump, and no sarcasm. I had a big criticism against Trump, and I just got the notification that Trump has already shifted on what I was going to go after him over. And I'm sorry, but if you're not going after him on what I'm about to show right now, you like, this was a horrible take from Trump, okay? But he has already changed it. So let me show you what the initial problem was right here, okay? This might be the worst take Trump has ever had. It is not sarcasm. I'm 100% like, I swear on Culver's Butterburger, I am not being sarcastic right now. This is a Truth Social post from President Trump. The Save America Act, okay? You can ignore 1 through 4, okay? Number 5 is the problem. Number 5 says no transgender mutilation surgery for children without the express written approval of parents. Worst thing Trump has ever said in his political career right there. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Okay? Now, this is because I had a lot of stuff pulled up about this, okay? Now, I saw some people coping on this going, well, he's got to make concessions. Fuck that. You don't make concessions on this topic right here, okay? However, the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because he has changed it. He has changed it right here. Now, I don't know if a staffer put it up or whatever, but he has now updated it to this. This is the update. No transgender mutilation surgery for children. Boom. Okay? Right here. President Trump has changed his True Social post where he suggested that children should be allowed to transition genders with approval from their parents. Before, it said that right there. Now it says what it should have said in the first place right there. I was ready to go off on him about this, but it does look like they've corrected it for whatever reason. I would like some understanding as to why that was even in there, though, because this is awful right here. So I want to go to True Social and I want to look and see, okay? I want to confirm this. Yep, I'm looking at True Social right now. It is updated. So they must have edited the post is what they must have done. They must have edited it. So there you have it. Bro saved himself. That's good. For real, because that was a problem. And I saw a lot of people trying to justify why it was written like that. And I was like, dude, you guys are living in fantasy land right now, because there is no justification of that first take. Zero. Like, we have to protect children. Like, we have to. And if you have crazy lunatic parents like that, they need to be dealt with. You can't, like, if kids can't drink legally until they're 18, why should they have the ability to do that with parents' permission? Like, no. So I'm glad that update happened, because I was like, holy shit. There is no justification whatsoever. So good on President Trump for recognizing, for whatever reason, that happened. So now we will go back to his live right here. Or 21. I mean, did I say 18? I meant 21. Yeah, my bad.
Great. You're great. Boy, some big champions, some great.
I don't drink, so I don't really know what the age is. I just knew it was, I thought it was 18. Is it 18 in UK? Yeah. A lot of people, I guess, patiently wait when they're like, oh, I can't wait to turn 21 so I can get shit-faced. And I'm like, I can't wait to turn 21 so I can say, no, I don't drink.
Jorge and Jose Mas. Who came from Cuba, right? Originally from Cuba? Huh? Your parents came? And you're going to go back. Oh, yeah. It's going to be, and you won't need my approval. You just fly back in when I can just see that. It's going to be a great day, right? We're going to celebrate that separately. I just want to wait a couple of weeks. I wanted to wait a couple of weeks, but we'll be together again soon, I suspect, celebrating what's going on in Cuba. They want to make a deal so badly, you have no idea. As well as head coach, who I hear is a phenomenal coach, Javier Mascherano. Where's the coach? I've heard he's a great coach. Well, anybody who wins is a good coach in my book, but I heard you're a hell of a coach. And all of the tremendous players that are just amazing. We're also grateful to be joined by the MLS Commissioner, Don Garber. Don, wherever you're, Don. Stand up, Don. Good job. Good job. As well as proud Miami sports fan, Secretary.
Jeremy is audience captured, making sure to give the takes that don't upset the chat. Have you ever seen my chat when I say how much I like the Clone Wars TV show? Have you ever seen what happens in my chat? It doesn't go well. It's not very nice. It's really bad, actually.
I don't want them to get too popular. You know, when they get too popular, all of a sudden you see, where's Marco? He's not around anymore. I don't see him. He's doing some job, and your next one is going to be, we want to do that special Cuba. He's waiting, but he says, let's get this one finished first. We could do them all at the same time, but bad things happen. If you watch country.
Yeah, Clone Wars is awesome. And that's like that narrative that everybody hates Clone Wars is the most retarded narrative ever. That's why I always argue against it. Because if you look at like the comment section, like, oh man, we love using Rotten Tomatoes when there's a negative score. We love to use Rotten Tomatoes, don't we? Yeah. But as soon as you bring Rotten Tomatoes up for the Clone Wars, oh man, that's just, they're fake numbers. Oh, okay. So we only use Rotten Tomatoes when we want to roast something. But when it shows you that, you can go to IMDb, you can go to Critic List, you can go to anywhere. Metacritic, everybody fucking loves the Clone Wars except for like 15 people online that like to cry about Dave Filoni ruining their childhood. Oh my God, Dave Filoni hurt my feelings. Who gives a fuck? Clone Wars is awesome. So let's see here.
Factor with tariffs the other day with the Supreme Court. They did the wrong thing, but it didn't make any difference because we have another way of doing it. They always have to make it the hard way. Do you know about that? You always have to. Is it like that? It's always got to be the difficult way, right? A little bit. Huh? Makes you work harder, right? But we're doing great. Our country is doing incredibly well. It's never done like this. It's, I was with the King of Saudi Arabia. He said, a year and a half ago, we thought your country was dead, would never come back.
Is that Messi? That is Messi up there, isn't it? Hang on. Is he right there? That's him. Like, this is like the biggest star in the world standing there with Trump, the two biggest stars in the world.
For Inter Miami beginning last summer at the historic FIFA Club World Cup, hosted for the first time right here in the USA. So exciting. I shouldn't say this because you'll say I'm old, but I watched Pelé play. He played for the Cosmos. You know that? And Steve Ross was a great friend. I don't know how many people remember Steve. He was a legendary businessman. He really started cable TV. He was way ahead of time and ultimately passed away tragically. But he started the Cosmos team and he wanted to get some good players. So we started with Pele. I don't know. You may be better than Pele. Pele was pretty good. Who's better, him or Pele? I
agree. The GOAT knows how to work a room. He knows how to work a room.
I think he is. But he was pretty good, right? Pele was pretty good. But it was very exciting. And I went to the games. I'd go every once in a while. But soccer just didn't catch on. And then when Steve got ill, it sort of went away. And then it came back. And now it's just turning out to be amazing how it's coming back in this country. But the Cosmos were a very hot team, playing with other teams that weren't so good. But I got to watch Pele play, and he was something too. In the June group stage of that tournament, these players.
I am curious. It's because I'm not a soccer guy, okay? But like, I am curious. There's this big debate within soccer: Messi or Ronaldo, right? Isn't that the debate? So I'm curious what the chat says. Ronaldo has been to the White House and shown tons of respect to President Trump, and now Messi is there. So who you got, chat? I'm curious.
From one of the greatest strikers of all time, Luis Suarez. Was he? These are good-looking people. Marco, I don't like good-looking men. You don't feel so good about yourself standing up here. What? Good-looking people. In the 65th minute, Louis gathered the ball around midfield and turned for a vintage solo run, dribbling through the defense, driving past defenders like few people have ever seen before, cutting to his left, hammering home a goal that secured Miami's place in the next round. But no match in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup was more important than the match against FC Porto. Porto took an early lead, but you came back strong in the 54th minute, tied 1-1. Leo lined up for one of his iconic free kicks. He struck the ball decisively, bending it over the wall and beating the keeper with a sensational left hook. Would I be able to do that if I practiced? He said, no, I think he's right, my friend. Great. In that moment, you sealed a truly historic Inter-Miami victory, becoming the first club from North America ever to beat a European club in official competition. Unbelievable. You know, I have to just interject. So over the years, I love sports, and I've watched my friend A-Rod. With George Steinbrenner. I'd sit in his box, just the two of us. He would never have anybody but me. He liked me, right? He liked me, and he liked you. He liked almost nobody. It would be a World Series when baseball was hot. It's not as hot now, I'll be honest with you. They do things wrong. But when baseball was hot as a pistol with George, and I'd sit and I'd watch the Yankees, and he'd have 30 seats, and it would just be me and him. And I said to A-Rod, would say, what was the most difficult thing you've ever done? I said, it's probably sitting for 3 hours with George Steinbrenner watching a Yankee playoff game or World Series game. You know what I mean by that. He was a difficult guy, but he was great, right? He liked me, I liked him, and we both liked nobody else. And that was a good combination. But I have to say this. So I've seen a lot of great players come into the world of sports, and they came in from all different countries, all different players. They've come in some cases just from different states.
John
they come to the
freaking
Yankees,
Murdoch.
or they come to the Dodgers, or they come to whatever. But I've seen them come in from other countries, and there's such a clamor. Oh, so great, everything's great, but they don't win. This guy won. He came in, there was tremendous fanfare, and he won. You know, right?
I got you, John. I'll read that here in a bit.
But it's true. They don't win. They come in, and you know they're great players, and they can even play okay, but they don't win. And Leo, you came in. And
here's the thing about Trump, and this is the true sign of an alpha male. Okay, Trump is not intimidated at all by Messi, and I'm not saying like Messi is probably in some areas is more famous than Trump. He respects greatness. He respects him. And he does this with everybody that's like that. Like, he respects greatness and he is not intimidated at all. And this is at, like, I remember when Nick Saban was at the White House, former Alabama coach, greatest of all time. And I remember when Nick Saban was there, Trump, they were walking out on stage or something together, and Trump said, "You first. Anybody who won that many championships deserves to go first." It's like the dude knows how to respect greatness.
You won, and that's something very hard to do, very unusual. And frankly, there's a lot more pressure put on you than anyone would know, because, you know, you're sort of expected to win, but almost nobody wins. They come in, they're great, they're the best in the world, they get paid a fortune. You came in and you won with all that pressure. That's an amazing tribute. So congratulations. Right? But in that moment, you sealed a truly historic Inter-Miami victory. And think of that, first club ever, North America, to top the so-called European clubs. Pretty amazing thing to do. Returning to the MLS, Inter-Miami built on that incredible momentum, playing a record number of games and scoring a total of 101 goals, the most in MLS history. Is that correct, Mr. Commissioner?
What's up, Roland?
That's pretty good. How's Andrew? Is Andrew treating you okay? He's a good golfer, too, actually. People don't know it. He's a very good golfer, right, Andrew? But Trump's a good golfer, too, Andrew. Thank you. With 29 goals in the regular season alone, Leo won the prize Golden Boot, becoming the first player to be named the league MVP twice in a row. Amazing, you know, comes in, a lot of great players. Pretty amazing thing to do. Very hard to do. Exploding into the playoffs, this team racked up a series of statement wins, big wins, that frankly, wins that a lot of people didn't think they could do. You secured a 3-1 must.
Just so, like, and I know it's like some people, and I'm not a soccer expert, okay, but I follow sports, I follow pop culture, I follow a lot of stuff. Objectively speaking, if you are to take a step back, almost every piece of data would show that Messi and Ronaldo are two of the most famous human beings on the planet. Worldwide, these guys are known everywhere. You have no idea. Some people are sheltered to that, but like, these guys are fucking famous, like massively. It's insane.
Win victory over Nashville SC. You thrashed FC Cincinnati 4-0 on the road. And then you routed New York City FC 5-1, led by a hat trick from young star Tadeo Allende. Where is Tadeo? Yes, what a group of people. We could have a lot of fun with these guys. You can imagine when they win how they celebrate. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. In that MLS Cup final against the Vancouver Whitecaps, the entire team played together as one flawless unit, just flawless, they say. After Vancouver tied the game 1-1, Leo picked the pocket of a Whitecap defender and sent a pass to the great Rodrigo De Paul. Where the hell is Rodrigo?
Trump's having a lot of fun with this one.
Do you have any bad-looking players? You know, I like the bad-looking guys much better. Who stuck a low driving shot into the side net, taking the lead. And then in the 6th extra minute of stoppage time, Tadeo drove home your third and final goal, making the score 3-1 and securing your status as the first champions in club history. What an amazing accomplishment. Coach Mascherano became one of the few head coaches to win the MLS Cup finals in his very first year. And Leo claimed the 47th trophy of his storied career. 47th, can you imagine that? The most of all time. That's the most of all time. So Leo is the reigning FIFA World Cup MVP. You could have gone anywhere in the world. You could have chosen any team in the world, and you chose to go to Miami. I don't blame you. The weather's extremely good. Do you go to Doral? You go to Doral and play golf? And I just want to thank you for bringing us all in this ride, because you are hot and talented and a great person. I look forward to seeing many of you on the summer. We're going to be out there in the summer in 2026 FIFA World Cup. And we have a lot of interesting things, because we have the World Cup and we have the Olympics, so we have the 250. And I was responsible for getting the Olympics in my first term, and I was responsible for getting with Johnny. We got the World Cup, and Johnny's a good man. Do we like Johnny? I think so, right? Like you say, yeah, I think so. He's a good guy, but they're setting records on the World Cup, setting absolute total. I guess many of you guys are going to be in it, but setting records on ticket sales, right? Numbers that, literally double what anyone's ever done before. So it's good. So they picked the right. But I thought that I didn't know that I'd be the president during this, because the election was rigged and stolen, and I had to do it all again. And then I said, hey, wait a minute. I just got soccer/football, and I just got the Olympics. So we got most important. I took credit for those two. Then I tried to take credit for 250 years, and it didn't play well at all with the press. But we're going to have an amazing year. But I just want to thank you so much, Jorge, for the job you've done. I've known you for a while, and I've known of you for a long period of time. You are a spectacular man, and please say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you very much, Mr. President. To all these distinguished guests.
Only Trump would make this moment about and they stole the election. It was rigged. God dang it, Trump. Only Trump, dude.
His wife, Patty, and my whole family who is here today. With David Beckham, I want to express to you what an extreme honor and privilege it is to be in the People's House, led by you, celebrating in the presence of champions, winners all. Because this championship was very, very well deserved, greatly played, and you're looking at one of the best teams on the face of the earth standing behind us. And this all became possible because we dared to dream. 7 years ago, Inter Miami was nothing but an idea and a dream. I remember after talking to Commissioner Garber and being awarded a team, we sat in the conference room of our family business in Miami and said to each other, what do we do now? And as the son of a man and woman who left Cuba, just seeking freedom in this great country, it has driven us to excellence. And we thought, what can we do to make a difference? What can we do that's special? And at that time, I told myself what many people thought impossible. I said, we are going to bring the world's greatest player to play at Inter Miami.
This is Messi right here.
2019.
Oh,
and today, standing before you, you have the world's.
My cursor is right there. Okay, this is Messi right here. You see my cursor? I think you can see it on your end, but that's Messi right there. For those asking.
Of winning. Because what I've wanted to establish with Inter Miami is a winning culture. That it be a reflection of our community of South Florida and Miami, made up of winners, of hardworking men and women, and I want our team to be an embodiment of our fan base and everyone who aspires to a better future and to a better life. On the back of our jersey, Mr. President, it says freedom to dream, because that's our family moniker and what embodies our team and our aspirations. But that all began many, many years before at the dinner table of our family with my late father, Jorge Mas, and my mother, Irma, who is here today.
All right, so while he's up there talking, Nubbin dropped the proper 199. Thank you, Nubbin. Appreciate that. What's cool here is, hang on. Okay, so this is what's cool right here. Messi actually walked in with Trump. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Nubbin. We will celebrate properly here momentarily. I appreciate you as always. John freaking Murdoch says, hey, Jeremy, I actually have a Culver's in my town. I had no idea they had a pork sandwich. I have to try it now. Hail the 199. Hail IDOTS. Happy Jessica and the Mrs. ABF in case they are different people. And Roland for 20 says, pork sandwich, Jeremy tax. Ryan Kennel destroys Clone Wars tax. Jeremy loves Filoni tax. Jeremy, you're fired tax. McRib is awesome tax. Jeremy is completely objectively gay. Better. See you in Vegas, you fig. $20 from Roland. Thank you so much. John freaking Murdoch says they rigged the election tax. And then Nubbin says, I have tried the Culver's pork tenderloin sandwich before X-Wing mentioned it. Yeah, but you had probably been to Culver's a few times and then you tried it. Whereas X-Wing got all of our hopes up and destroyed all of our beliefs. Glenn Jones says that Diego Maradona is the best. Let's see. Jim, is it Clark Racing driver? Thank you, Glenn Jones. Mark Millen says, whoever runs his social should be on a very short leash for that. Why give concessions to that? That's insane to think people will be for that. Talking about the transgender thing, yes, I agree. Minister Von Thing says, with the mere existence of CBS, 90% of MAGA poll, real or not, I wonder how many fake MAGA grifters will suddenly flip back to support Trump. Well, on that note, I've actually got a very interesting clip to show you, but I want to hear if Trump's going to talk anymore. So we have a very interesting clip from CNN. Is the audio gone? Yeah, there's like no audio. I don't know why. Did we lose audio? Yeah, I have no audio. That's weird. Hang on, let me see if I can pull another feed up. The White House feed probably is live right now. White House. Or did we just lose it? That's so weird. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like the White House feed lost audio too. Beardo's pink shirt. Beardo's pink shirt. Unless my computer's just messed up. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now. Oh, well. Okay, well, it's ending anyway, so there's no more speaking from Trump. So here's the clip that I would like to show all of you, okay? And this, again, all of these... hang on. I got crap playing in my ear right now because Google Chrome is shit. All of the podcast bros, they've been telling you there's a MAGA civil war. They've been telling you Trump has abandoned his base. They had told you that it's all over for Trump. Trump is done. MAGA has abandoned Trump and Trump has abandoned MAGA. It's all over, guys. I got some bad news for you.
Republicans love Donald Trump more than any president's own party supporters loved him at this particular point. Just take a
Let me repeat that for you one more time. Republicans love Donald Trump more than any particular party has loved their president. Trump is more popular within his own party than any president in modern history.
Republicans love Donald Trump more than any president's own party supporters loved him at this particular point. Just take a look here. Okay, own party supporters, 21st century presidents, own party approval, about at this point in the second term. Bush was at 77%. Obama was at 77%. Look at this. 86% of Republicans approve of the job that Donald Trump is doing at this point. That is higher than either Obama or Bush had within their own party at this point. Trump's magic touch has not seen the war off yet when it comes to the Republican base.
And what kind of approval are we talking about here?
Okay, so we're talking about overall approval here. How about the strongly approved, not just like, But love. Okay, we're going to look at these same presidents again. Strong approval among your own party's base. What you see here is Trump is the only one who gets a majority at this point in their presidency. Obama was at 48%. Bush was at 47%. You see here Trump at 53%. Not as high as overall approval rating, but still getting a majority of the Republican base, at least in the average of polls, to say that they still really, really, really like him. Okay.
But I was told that MAGA is in a civil war. I was told that everything is falling apart. I was told that this is the worst disaster ever. And guess what? It's all lies. Okay? It's all lies. President Trump is doing a phenomenal job. And yes, if you want to focus in on an issue here or issue there, you can. However, we got to go live to Pete Hegseth right now, Secretary of War, giving us an update on Iran.
Our authorities, his authorities, CENTCOM's authorities,
This is live right
President
now.
and myself are maxed out. Our capabilities are overwhelming and gathering still, as are those of our Israeli partners. Our munitions are full up, and our will is ironclad, which means our timeline is ours and ours alone to control. As long as it takes to ensure the United States of America achieves these objectives. And as we flow more forces, and as we flow more capabilities, and as our munitions, as we're flying over the top, have even more devastating effects, we set the tempo, we set the timeline, led by the commander on the ground. Our ear is to the ground to listen to Admiral Cooper, what he needs, and what he needs, he will get. We are built for this fight, and we are in it to win it. And we have the right commander in the lead. So I'll now hand it over to Admiral Brad Cooper to give you an update right here from CENTCOM. Admiral.
Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much and good afternoon, and welcome to U.S. Central Command Headquarters, America's Warfighting Headquarters. It's great to be here alongside the Secretary and representing the more than 50,000 men and women in uniform currently executing Operation Epic Fury. So, Mr. Secretary, first, thank you very much for your leadership and support and the very clear vision and objectives that you've given us to allow us to use overwhelming force against the Iranian terrorist regime. And thanks to all of you for attending today, and welcome to Tampa. We are now starting our 6th day of a historic mission to eliminate Iran's ability to threaten Americans. We are, if I could channel my inner Navy officer, we are at full speed ahead in executing orders given by leadership in Washington. The President and Secretary Hegseth have been crystal clear in their expectations, and we are at a high level of execution. As described by the Secretary and earlier this week by me, U.S. combat power is building as Iranian combat power declines. Our air dominance allows us to hit Iran's center of gravity with overwhelming power and reach. A couple of examples. In just the last 72 hours, America's bomber force has struck nearly 200 targets deep inside of Iran, including around Tehran. And in just the last hour, U.S. B-2 bombers dropped dozens of 2,000-pound penetrator bombs targeting deeply buried ballistic missile launchers. Notably, we've also struck Iran's equivalent of Space Command, which degrades their ability to threaten Americans. Then, if I just look back over the last 24 hours of the operation compared to where we were at start, ballistic missile attacks have decreased by 90% since day one. Drone attacks have decreased by 83% since day one. Having said this, we remain vigilant. Our strikes against the Iranian Navy have intensified. You may have heard the president say just a little while ago that we have
Thank you, Nubbin.
24 ships. That was true at the moment. We're now up over 30 ships. And in just the last few hours, we hit an Iranian drone carrier ship, roughly the size of a World War II aircraft carrier. And as we speak, it's on fire. The president gave us another task: to raise or level Iran's ballistic missile industrial base. So we're not just hitting what they have, we're destroying their ability to rebuild. And so as we transition to the next phase of this operation, we will systemically dismantle Iran's missile production capability for the future, and that's absolutely in progress. This is going to take some time, but our forces are well supplied, as the Secretary said, and we are absolutely ready to prosecute this mission decisively. Our combined joint forces have relentlessly destroyed Iran's air defenses over the past few days, and they've continued hunting for more systems to kill. Our air defenders are operating at the very top of their game. I couldn't be prouder, shoulder to shoulder with our partners in the region in many cases, providing the most integrated air defense network in Middle East history. We are fighting to win. Through combined U.S. and Israeli combat power, we will continue decimating Iran's ability to project power outside its borders. And if I can just conclude by saying a strong salute to the brave men and women who are out on the pointy edge of this, really doing exceptional work. I just couldn't be prouder, and I know the American people sharing that same pride. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll take a few questions. Yeah, right here.
Sir, appreciate it. Admiral, I wanted to ask, or Secretary,
I know the audio is a little off.
the President said today that,
Sorry.
the US has asked for specific capabilities to be able to shed drones, Iranian drones. Can you guys talk about what you asked for? And has there been any surprise from Iranian capabilities that you guys have seen in the past 6 days?
Go ahead.
We're very familiar with Iranian's capabilities, and as you might imagine, we planned for it right from the outset, and I feel good about what the plan was. Like any good organization, we adjust as necessary to meet the environment, and we've made those appropriate adjustments. Absolutely.
Right here.
Thanks, Secretary. I had two for both of you. One, was an American pilot shot down today in Iraq? And two, I've heard reports that there's enriched uranium stored in Isfahan. I'm also heard reports that there's not a lot of bombing there. Is that on purpose? Do we believe there's enriched uranium there? And would we ever send special forces to secure it?
As CENTCOM pointed out, that those reports of an F-15 being shot down are false. As you can imagine, Iran is doing everything it can to peddle in lies, deception, and inflation of numbers and reality, mostly to propagandize to their own people, right? They've shut down the internet. They're hoping they can convince their own population that they're having success. One thing one of their leaders said recently is that 500 Americans have been killed, they claim. These are lies. The lies will continue. CENTCOM will continue to debunk those lies. So, and as often is the case in conflict, first reports are often wrong. As it pertains to nuclear material and things like that, one of the objectives the president has always said is that Iran will not have a nuclear bomb, nuclear capabilities, but we would never disclose what we will or will not do inside operational plans. So Admiral Cooper's got a plan. We're working that plan, and targets will be struck or not struck according to what we want to achieve. Yeah, right there.
Secretary Hegseth, the president said earlier today in an interview that he would like to have a say in who's the next leader of Iran. Is this an expansion of your military objective? Do you view it that way? And additionally, you spoke earlier today about how previous leaders have drawn resources from our hemisphere to the Middle East. Mm-hmm. How do you avoid that?
Well, there's no expansion. Ultimately, I think the president's having a heck of a say in who runs Iran, given the ongoing operation we have. So there's no expansion in our objectives. We know exactly what we're trying to achieve. I think today's a great example of what this War Department is capable of doing. I was just in another part of Florida today where we announced, America's counter cartel conference. 18 countries coming together from Central, South America, and the Caribbean coming together to fight cartels. That is something that is ongoing. We're focused there. We're focused in the Indo-Pacific. We can mass combat power in CENTCOM. UCOM is able to support that as well. So we know we're laser focused on our hemisphere and our homeland. I mean, that's why we locked down the border. That's why we're working with partners to take on cartels. That's why we're sinking drug boats. That's why we're on the offense there. But the beautiful things about combatant commands is that, Brad Cooper's laser focused on Central Command, just like Frank Donovan is laser focused on Southern Command. We can do both. That's what a global power can do. Ultimately, this issue of Iran's nuclear pursuit and their unwillingness through negotiations to stop it was something President Trump has said for a long time needs to be dealt with. And after 47 years, he's doing something that no other president was willing to do. And we're doing it overwhelmingly, and we're doing it decisively, while also in other parts of the globe having the desired effects. I mean, take, for example, what we displayed yesterday, the Iranian ship in the Indian Ocean, sunk by Indo-PACOM, another combatant command, who coordinated with us in order to make that happen. So America's reach is global. Our focus here, though, these missions are narrow, they're scoped, and Admiral Cooper is well on his way to ensuring that we reach those objectives. Right here, yes, sir.
Harold, looking at officers, the troops building. Do the Ukrainians are talking about providing low-cost interceptors, given their experience? Is that something that the Pentagon is looking for? And Admiral Cooper, can you walk us through a little bit about how effective the Lucas drones have been? What kind of
I could I'm easing into it because I know some people have their audio bumped up, but I can 100% see Hegseth being in politics for the next 20 years and being a major player. I definitely see that for sure. He is here to stay.
Capabilities being fielded. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about it from an operational perspective of what those are. But I think you have seen over a period of time us kind of get on the other side of this cost curve on drones in general. If I just walk back a couple of years, you remember what you used to always hear? We're shooting down a $50,000 drone with a $2 million missile. These days, we're spending a lot of time shooting down $100,000 drones with $10,000 weapons from ours. So that's one aspect. But Lucas, indispensable. As many of you know, and if you don't know, this was an original Iranian drone design. We captured it, pulled the guts out, sent it back to America, put a little Made America on it, brought it back here, and we're shooting it at the Iranians. Good targets.
Good targets. Absolutely. Right there.
Thank you so much, Secretary. President Trump, in his first speech after the launch of the Operation Epic Fury, he addressed Iranian people and he said that there is going to be a time for you to come out, but it's not now. Stay home. It's not safe. I want to know if there is a timeline for that you're going to urge Iranian people to come out, how that is going to play out, and how are you going to protect the protesters? You know that they're going to be shot probably, as we witnessed in January. That's what happened. How are you going to protect and support the protesters? And Admiral, I have one question for you. How are you going to minimize the civilian harms? We have a lot of evidence that the besiege units, IRGC commanders, they are now gathering in schools, in hospitals, in purely residential areas because their headquarters are bombarded, they are ruined, of course. So how are you going to protect the civilians while you're attacking the IRGC people hard? Thank you.
I would just say on the protests, obviously a lot the Iranian people showed a lot of courage in those protests, and we saw the Iranian regime was revealed for what it is in the way they reacted to that. The world saw that. No one's done more than President Trump to reopen the opportunity for those who want a free Iran to do so. Ultimately, it's common sense, as he said up front. Don't go out and protest while bombs are dropping inside Tehran and elsewhere. So there will come a moment where he determines, or they determine, that it's the time to seize that advantage. But there's a lot of things we're doing and the Israeli military is doing, targeting those individuals who are targeting those who protest. The more you do that and you erode their will and you erode their capabilities, the more you create an opportunity for people to boldly stand up.
Yeah, I would just reinforce the point. We're targeting the people, or we're targeting the headquarters and the people who are targeting the protesters, first and foremost. I'd also just double down on the president's comments that he previously made to the people. Stay in your homes, keep things calm, stay out of the way. There's a lot of U.S. and Israeli capacity coming over. We're hitting a lot of targets. The best thing for them to do for right now is just to lay low.
Right here.
Secretary, one common outcome of American military action in the past has been taking in thousands of refugees into the American homeland, and I'm wondering if there's any safeguards put in place to make sure that the American people aren't having to have another wave of refugees from the Middle East or anywhere else come and stay here.
I think it's safe to say there's no plan for a wave of new Middle Eastern refugees to the United States of America. I think, as the president has pointed out for a long time, there are a lot of countries in the region who would be capable of providing that kind of support if need be, but that's certainly not something we're planning on. Yeah, back there. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Michael in Washington Times. I wanted to ask, I know, Semper Gumby is always a truism in the military. Did the British decision to refuse Diego Garcia have any impact on the mission itself? Did you have to adjust, or were you able to just completely, go with the mission without even worrying about that?
Well, as the president stated, it was unfortunate that that the Brits didn't, from day one, say, "Hey, go ahead and have access." But we got there. We got there, and that's now part of the way that we're operationalizing bomber runs. And it's part of when we say more to come, it's more fighter squadrons, it's more capabilities, it's more defensive capabilities, and it's more bomber pulses more frequently. The amount of firepower over Iran and over Tehran is about to surge dramatically. And part of it is that we're going to have even more basing. And it's not just the UK. We've had other friends step up, and we're grateful for that. Maybe one more right here.
Yeah. The Azeri president earlier today basically authorized his Minister of Defense to begin preparing troops for some type of retaliatory action after the airport strike. As the Department of War and CENTCOM been working on deconflicting with the Azeri if they were to move in or attempt something in retaliation.
I'm sure there are plans, and I'll let the Admiral speak to that. But that does allow me to kind of address this idea that the war might be expanding or there's chaos, and nothing could be further from the truth. If anything, what Iran is doing by targeting allied countries that would otherwise want to stay out of this, they've actually pulled them into the American orbit. So now you've got UAE and Qatar and Bahrain and Saudi and Kuwait and others saying, hey, we're with you. We'll shoot with you. We'll fly with you. We'll defend with you. We'll allow you more basing and other a lot of which we can't talk about and won't talk about. But it's actually firming up the unity of the resistance in order to focus exactly where we need to. So this idea that it's expanding or going, no, it's actually simplifying in a number of ways, exactly what we need to achieve and how we'll achieve it. I don't know if you
I won't get ahead of policy in terms of what we might do. What I will point out is this is now the 12th country that Iran has attacked. 12 countries, and it goes right back to the Secretary's point. Those 12 countries are none too happy, and I look forward to working with all the partners who are willing to join us in this.
I would just close by saying,
Mr. Secretary, one more question. What is your message to Americans who are concerned about security here at home with the change up that we're going to see at the Department of Homeland Security?
well, I think Christy Gnome did an excellent job over there securing our border and keeping us focused on threats, and the president making a change. We all serve at the pleasure of the president. I'm sure Mark Wayne Mullin will do a fantastic job. He's been a friend of mine for a long time, but Christy did a great job setting us up for success. So I don't have any concerns about whether or not the homeland will be covered down on. And I'll just end by saying, I wish every American could get a chance to see what we see. I had a chance to go into the control room, into the Tactical Operations Center, go see these young men and women that are doing this, the dedication that they show at every level, the way they've refined their craft. I'm talking to a young colonel who's iterating on how we target and how we find and fix different aspects of what the Iranians are trying to do. If they don't know what they're up against. And if they think they've got it solved for, they're wrong. And ultimately, the combination of our ingenuity, the skill, the professionalism, the discipline, and then the sheer weight of the capabilities of the U.S. military, what you're going to see may look routine. It may start to be like, oh, another boat. Oh, another launcher. Oh, another drone facility. What it takes to do this with the precision that we do is world-class. No one else can do it. And it's world-class Americans. Like the ones I saw here, like the ones that are coming home that we're going to greet home, that are the engine of what makes our country great. And so I'm so grateful for folks like those here at CENTCOM, at Central Command, who are under your command. Thank you for your decisive leadership. And all I'll say to you is what I say to them, keep going. Because the president and myself, we have your back. Thank you, Evan. Appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Couple more.
Mr. Secretary, how's this operation?
All right. So there we have it. I'm easing back in because I know a lot of you have had your volumes turned up. So I won't talk very loud right now. But yeah, that Hegseth is great. And I think you're going to see a lot from him into the future. I could see him potentially being on a VP ticket and then potentially down the road in the future being a president. Trump has a lot of potential superstars in his cabinet right now that are going to shape the Republican Party moving forward. Whether it's Rubio, whether it's Vance, whether it's Hegseth, like there's a lot of people that I think have a lot of potential moving forward. So good stuff. All right, where are we at? Nubbin says MAGA represent Go 199 with a $47 super chat. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Nubbin. Hal Bashton says that so many people denouncing or hating on Trump for attacking Iran, but crickets when it comes to the genocide from the Iranian government against their own people. 30 to 40,000 protesters axed 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I mean, these people only care when they're, when it fits their agenda. That's kind of same song, same dance. It's pathetic, but it's part of the internet. It's never going away. Daniel says he's willing to throw hands on the Senate floor too, talking about Mark Wayne. Minister Von thinks says she was repositioned because she lied about Trump. Kevin Spear says if women can't be drafted, they shouldn't be in politics making war decisions. TJ says it's called a lateral transition. Dems are idiots. Greg Kirby says, bro, did you hear that Elon is blocking missile attacks on Israel on X? Also, Bondi and Cash need to go. I did not hear about that. Connect says they are trying to open DHS government. This might be a concession. Part of the deal may be Trump is playing chess. Vault 199 says how much hoodies cuss out because I received for $2. What? How much hoodies cuss out can I don't know what the fuck you're asking me. Am I retarded? Am I retarded right now? I'm retarded? Thank you, Vault 199. James All Day says, when is Pam Bondi getting fired? That'll be a very popular one. Hey, how many hoodies can I receive for $2? Is that what he was trying to say? A miniature Vault says, sorry, Jeremy, you're right. Never apologize. Wait. Let's see. Piranesi for a 199. Thank you. Madney says, bottom line, if Trump was happy with her performance, she'd still be there. I don't know if that's the case, but I mean, again, maybe not, but getting fired and repositioned to somewhere else that you can be better utilized, those are different things. It just is. Now, a demotion is not being fired. A promotion is not being fired. Being fired is no longer being there. So if she's still part of the administration, then she's not fired. She may have been demoted, but she's not fired. That's the point I'm trying to make. Being fired means you're fired. Connect says, thoughts on Christie and the dog. If you're talking about the thing about her putting that in her book, I mean, I think she's an idiot for publicizing that. I think that people, which most people don't have any experience on being on a farm. And so when you talk about the realities of being on a farm and dealing with injured animals, 95% of people, probably 99% of people that have never been in that are going to freak out. She just shouldn't have said it. She's just stupid for saying it because it's not going to go over well at all, And so that's the reality of it, is she just shouldn't have said it, but she did. And most people looked at it and said she, put a dog down or whatever it was. I can't remember the specifics of it, but it was a terrible situation to actually read. But the reality of it is welcome to farm life, Lean back, have a snack. Says, show the clip of Mullin challenging Teamster president to a fight. Benny tried to talk them down. Hail the 199, fire Bondi next. That's what it was. Dog wasn't injured. It was aggressive and attacking people in the livestock. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. So the dog was aggressive. He was, so again, welcome to farm life. That's, everybody thinks everything's a fucking Disney movie, I guess. Miniature Vaughn thinks as Trump was only ever this nice to Elon leaving. Yeah. And I think that's a strategic effort right there. James All Day says Trump really needs to fire the staff who tweets. Lying Dogface says Gnome did not fall for the COVID scam as governor. Ryan Miller says James Talarico is a demonic snake oil salesman who hates white people and mock Christianity. Texas must not vote for this guy because he's a lunatic. Big Papa Trump for $1. Lying Dogface with a gifted membership. Little Jim Taylor says Jeremy loves Benology. Black Ninja says never seen the Clone Wars, but it's still probably better than Starfleet Academy. The Clone Wars is phenomenal. All right. It's absolutely phenomenal. And all you have is a couple of fucking people that are like, oh my God, it destroyed everything. Every single piece of data online that you can find supports that the Clone Wars is overwhelmingly loved. End of discussion. All right. And that's just the bottom fucking line. You don't have to like it, but that's the truth. Bright Matt says, Jeremy, it's not soccer, it's football. ACC says Trump deploys a giant Baron class mech to Iran. Beastie Man says now Trump met the two most followed on IG winning. Yeah, and he even said this right here, and I think this is probably this will be a viral clip probably right here. Okay, this is probably going to be a very viral clip. Right here. Here we go.
Today we're thrilled to host the 2025 MLS Cup champions, Inter Miami. Great job. And it's my distinct privilege to say what no American president has ever had the chance to say before. Welcome to the White House, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is, my son said, Dad, you know who's going to be there today? I said, no, I got a lot of things going on. Privilege to say what no American president has ever had the chance to say before. Welcome to the White House, Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi is, my son said, Dad, you know who's going to be there today? I said, no, I got a lot of things going on. He said, Messi. I said, really? He's a big fan. He's a big fan of yours. He thinks you're just a great person, and I think you got to meet a little while. So he's a big soccer fan, but he's a tremendous fan of yours. Today we're thrilled.
No, I've got a lot going on. It's so fucking funny. Isn't it Lionel Messi? Isn't that how you say it? Not Lionel. It's Lionel, right? Lionel Messi. And he said Lionel. Oh, shit. Trump is so funny. Let's see. Close enough. Joe Bitts is just tuning in. Gay pork sandwich tax. Garfield's Bizarre Adventures is when America bombed Somalia, a lot of those Somali refugees were fast-tracked to migrate to the U.S. Same with Afghanistan and Iraq. Don't let them in. Red Mage says, I missed CobraCast last night, but the video with Rubio back in 2015 that you played, I'm wondering if Trump did see this specific video speech and was a huge reason Trump wanted Rubio in his cabinet. Potentially so. It's a great video, too. Big Papa Trump says, tickle, trickle, pickle, beardo, same. Read that one slow. Taco Lord says, had to put a dog down 20 years ago when I was visiting my family's farm. It was so old, blind, crippled, smelled of death. And that was a mercy killing. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's if you can actually deal with it. I've never had to do anything like that. Grand Duke says, haha, thank you, Jeremy, for the laugh. Clone Wars is great. Yes, it is. It's phenomenal. Critic says $4.89 a gallon yesterday in California. Today was $5.59. Went to Cave Junction, Oregon, Taylor's Sausage Factory. If you know, you know. Best butcher in the USA. Let me see. Thanks for the happy story. Yeah, that wasn't really a happy story. Again, let's talk about this one more time because this was a huge problem earlier and it's been corrected. President Trump has changed his True Social post where he suggested that children should be allowed to transition genders with approval from parents. All right, so this is the before right here. Save America Act gives 5 points. First 4 points, fine. The 5th point is a huge problem. This was the original post, and there was a lot of backlash showing that MAGA is not an echo chamber, okay? It's not an echo chamber at all. And so MAGA was furious, all right? Then it gets updated to this right here. And this is the proper one. Now, how did this happen? Was this a staffer? Was this a mistake? I'm not sure, but this was a big issue. But this is the one that's up there now, which is the proper one, which is what it should say. Under no circumstance should what was said in number 5 previously said it all. Absolutely not. So I'm glad that we got that correction from the administration, because that was going to be a firestorm if it did not get corrected. And luckily, it looks like it has been corrected. So good on Trump for recognizing that. Okay, next up on the agenda. That's correct. No allowing it. 100%. Now, so we're getting a few more details potentially, okay? We're getting some details here about the Kristi Gnome situation. So Trump was reportedly unhappy with Kristi Gnome. I believe that he probably was, as I've said. But I also think that a firing is a firing, a demotion is a demotion, a promotion is a promotion, or a lateral move is a lateral move.
Today, quote, Kristi Gnome, who has served us well and has numerous and spectacular results, especially on the border, exclamation point, will be moving to be special envoy for the Shield of the Americas, our new security initiative in the Western Hemisphere. Senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich reports live from the North Lawn as she continues to gather the latest on this fast-moving story today. Hi, Jackie.
Hey, Martha. We just saw the first statement from DHS Secretary Kristi Gnome. It says, "Thank you, President Trump, for appointing me as the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Secretary Rubio and Secretary of War are incredible leaders. I look forward to working with them closely to dismantle cartels that have poured drugs into our nation and killed our children and grandchildren." It goes on to say that we have made historic accomplishments in the Department of Homeland Security to make America safe again. We delivered the most secure border in American history, and goes on to sort of tout her accomplishments. I've been asking officials here about what went into the president's thinking, because sometimes we see these rumors that he's unhappy with an official in his cabinet and then stands by them. But it sounds like from people close to him, very close to him, who can speak to his thinking, the quote that I was given was, "It was a combination of her many unfortunate leadership failures, from Minnesota to the ad campaign to the allegations of an affair." You'll recall in the aftermath of the
Who's hooking up with Kristi Gnome? Who's hooking up with Kristi Gnome? Uh-oh. Now we got a story on our hands, boys. Uh-oh.
deportation campaign in Minnesota that took the lives of 2 protesters. There were a number of Republicans who called for her to step down, among them Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski. Others called for investigations and heavily criticized.
Somebody in the chat says, not me, unfortunately. Is it Corey Lewandowski? Really? That's the rumor?
Her, including Bill Cassidy, Pete Ricketts, Susan Collins, Ted Cruz, Ted Young, Mike Crapo, Jerry Moran. John Kennedy also told me on the Sunday briefing he was very happy that the president had elevated Tom Homan to take a lead in Minnesota, and that he had let the president know that. So there was a pressure campaign on the president, as this DHS funding has been stalled in Congress, that there has been a problem at the top, and it's not just criticism from Democrats that he was hearing and seeing in the press. This ad campaign, though, seems to have really tipped the president over the edge. The Secretary Gnome was questioned about the $200 million in advertising that she authorized that featured her prominently on horseback at Mount Rushmore. It was an ad campaign about border security. And she told Congress that the president approved of that campaign, even though...
Now everybody in the chat's claiming it was them. Alex says, it was me, Austin. It was me. Everybody's like, it was me. I'll take the blame. I'll what is it? What's the Hunger Games thing? I'll be a tribute or whatever.
Apparently, he did not. We're going to listen to that soundbite here.
Senator, I just have a really quick question. What was your first reaction to just the news that you were nominated for this position, just amidst everything that's happening?
Humbling, because I had to call my dad, and I mean, because it happened quick, right? I had to call my wife, call my dad both,
And it's just, pretty humbling when you start thinking about it. A little kid from West Oklahoma gets to serve in the president's cabinet. That's pretty neat. So thank you guys.
That wasn't the soundbite we were looking for. We were looking for the testimony that apparently really upset the president, where Gnome said, yes, we went through the legal process and did it correctly when asked if the president authorized and approved that $200 million in spending. He did not. He said that he was not aware of this campaign, certainly did not authorize it. And then there were also these rumors of an affair with Corey Lewandowski, special government employee who was serving as an advisor.
Whoa! It's getting spicy now. Okay. I have not heard about this.
When asked if the president authorized and approved that $200 million in spending, he did not. He said that he was not aware of this campaign, certainly did not authorize it. And then there were also these rumors of an affair with Corey Lewandowski, special government employee who was serving as an advisor. He is also married, and reports floating the last several weeks.
Corey, nice work, my friend. Nice work. Nice job, sir.
That Gnome had sought to appoint Lewandowski as her chief of staff, but the president blocked that decision amid these rumors of an affair. So the combination of those factors that tipped the president's decision to elevate Mark-Wayne Mullin into this position and get him confirmed. Martha.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Jackie, because, the person that you're citing, the source that you're citing, and just tick off for us again the three things that they told you went into this decision, because that's not really a soft pedal the way that it was described to you. Can you go through those again one more time?
Minnesota, her handling of the fallout to the deaths in Minnesota of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, the statements that she made in public calling them domestic terrorists before some of the facts had come in, and her handling of that scenario, the ad campaign, the $200 million that featured her on horseback at Mount Rushmore and claiming that the president signed off on it when he had not, and also the allegations of an affair with Corey Lewandowski. This person close to the president described these three things as a combination of her many unfortunate leadership failures. So less a decision to move her into a new role than to get her out of the one she had been serving in.
Yeah, many unfortunate.
I mean, let's just assume all these things are true, what we're hearing, okay? Like, why keep her in the administration? That makes no sense. Like, everything that they're reporting, like many leadership failures, potentially an affair. She's got this marketing campaign with her on horseback that she said Trump approved, which she didn't. She's got this no bid contract that she apparently lied about. Like, if all these things are true, that is more than enough ground to fire her, not move her to a different position, but fire her. So that's my confusion on all of this. Fired means fired. Fired means not in the position at all. Get her out of the White House. Now, you could say Trump has, and I do think this is a flaw of Trump's, to have way too many women in leadership positions in his administration. I think that's a flaw of his, and shocking. Men are simps when it comes to attractive women. Simple as that. Welcome to the world we live in, okay?
Strong language from a source close to the president that Jackie is reporting right now. So this is a much harder line in terms of what unfolded here. Jackie, thank you very much.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I mean, a lot of these reports are not good for sure. But again, my confusion comes to like fired means fired. Like working. I've never talked about working retail before. Okay. But all right. I worked retail. When somebody was fired at the store, they weren't working in the store anymore. When someone was moved from one department to another, they were moved from one department to the other. Now, why do you move someone from a department to another department? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, they were either promoted. Two, they were demoted. Three, they requested a change of scenery. Four, The department itself, the manager was like, I'm not working well with this person, but I think they can be utilized better here. Or you fire them. I don't understand. Like, this makes no sense. To avoid lawsuits, I based on all of the stuff that we just heard, I don't think that there's any doubt that there is more than enough reason to fire her completely if they want to. More than enough reason. But it is what it is. So, Madney says Gnome's not nearly as bad as Bondi, but I don't think Trump was happy with how Minnesota looked. Probably a major reason she's no longer secretary, in my opinion. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says as long as Bondi keeps bringing her under the desk expertise to the Oval Office, she'll keep getting her job. Unfortunately, Roland says it's about time. It was me. No shame in my game. I secured all her borders. Connect says Trump will need to pardon her. DNC will arrest her. Ministry of Thinks says Asmongold got a Rumble account now. What? Yeah, good. Well, I mean, yeah, I saw that there was like talk of it or whatever. ACC says Gnome looked like a Karen 10 years ago. Big change. James Alday says, did you hear that Kim Paxton might drop out of the Senate race? I heard somebody talking about that, but I didn't get to look at the details. Randy says Shield America or Project Shield America is a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE program. Grapthar's Hammer says Retail Cast. We love the Retail Cast. Johnny the WizKid says Five Guys is S tier of S tiers. You said it yourself. I have some problems with Culver's. The cheese curds suck. They don't have hot dogs, and they don't have Freddy's famous fry sauce. Include this place in the fast food tier list when you make another one. Wiener Schnitzel. What are your thoughts on it? Have you eaten there? I've never eaten there. But yeah, Five Guys burgers they're pretty freaking phenomenal. So are we frozen again? It'll unfreeze. It'll work itself out. Don't worry. Okay. What is this right here? Bill O'Reilly said the quiet part out loud. Okay.
Right now, the press is doing everything it can to root for Iran. The press is actually rooting for Iran. I watched ABC.
When you
World
say
News.
Iran, you mean the people or the regime?
They want America to lose. So World News tonight on ABC, and I work for an ABC, so did you, did 15 minutes last night, did 8 segments, every segment negative. And I mean really negative. Every segment. Now, one positive.
Every time we play Bill, everybody is like, dude is on his last leg. Oh, man. It's funny to see the reaction.
Word. Now, one word on how bad the Mullins were. David Muir. In addition to that, David Muir said the word tonight 70 times in 17 minutes. So, I mean, I'm going, what the deuce is happening? I work for Jennings, who is excellent, okay? But I didn't even watch the other two. I just watched World News Tonight. And after watching it, I wanted to surrender. We should surrender to Iran. Watching ABC News, we lost. That's how crazy it is. They want Trump broken.
I don't think that I don't think anybody's betting against the U.S. military or the IDF.
No, but their sentiment is they want Trump broken. And if Iran can break him, that's what the media wants to see.
Ain't happening.
Right.
Ain't happening. That's just the bottom line. There's no chance that that's happening at all. The Trump administration is in full control of this situation. Okay. Full control. And the media can, hope and pray for whatever they want, but, not going to happen. Not even close. Let's see here. I'm going to bookmarks right here. Check this out, man. Trump has had Messi and Ronaldo at the White House in the last 6 months. Incredible. These are the two most famous professional athletes in the world and potentially the two most famous people in the world outside of probably Trump and maybe Elon. Goat of goats is Trump. Only Trump has that type of aura. Only Trump. That's absolutely insane. And he was working that room today like crazy. Let's see. Boom. What is this right here? Okay. All right. Next up, give me a second. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. Chat, I know you're always yelling at me. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, instead of recruiting streamers, Rumble should have focused on improving their UI and site maintenance. They hired Dr. Disrespect and nothing changed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do you really want me to go on a rant about Rumble? Like, if you go to Rumble, you go over there, like, you see Fresh and fucking Fit on the front page of Rumble. I mean, again, I have nothing against Fresh and Fit, but like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just people that have been demonetized or people that are no longer allowed on YouTube is all the platform is, and it's right-wing politics. That's all it is. That's it. So it's just like, who cares? I don't. I have no desire, but I'm over there. So, okay, we get it, Jeremy. You hate Rumble. No, I actually like Rumble, which is the reason I'm on Rumble, chat. I don't have to have a contract to go over to Rumble. I'm over there because I actually like it. Your favorite creator is only over there because Rumble is paying them. All right? That's it. Any big creators that are on Rumble right now are on Rumble because they're paid to be on Rumble. Okay? Simple as that. That's the only fucking reason there's any big creators, because they're paid to be on Rumble. I'm not. I'm over there because there are how many people right now watching me? There's we got 165 right now. You usually about 200 to 300 people are watching on Rumble. I'm over there for the people that want to watch me on Rumble because I hope that the platform will continue to grow. But my criticism of it is because they keep making decisions that I don't think helps them at all. None whatsoever. And that's my problem with it. So no, I don't hate Rumble. I'm over there because I like it. Simple as that. So, and I wish that they would stop giving contracts to fucking people and just make the site better and give it an algorithm and let things grow organically. Instead, the only way you grow is if you get promoted. Simple as that. Trump right here, loyalty above all else. Donald Trump.
I'd like to maybe lose everything for a period of time to see who's loyal and who's not loyal. You can't predict it. You think certain people would be loyal no matter what, and it turns out that they're not.
I'm not going to play the whole thing, but that loyalty clip in the beginning because of the music is probably going to get me hit. But this part right here, he says, I'd like to lose everything just to see who's loyal. Perfect.
That someday I'd like to maybe lose everything for a period of time to see who's loyal and who's not loyal. You can't predict it. You think certain people would be loyal no matter what, and it turns out that they're not.
He knows. Trump pays attention. He knows. Always got his eye on the prize. So I'm sure he's paying attention to all of this. As a matter of fact, speaking on that, right here, Donald Trump on Tucker Carlson lost his way, is not smart enough to understand. That is what Trump is saying right now about Tucker Carlson. I have not read this story, but I've seen it reported on a lot. So I'm actually interested to check this out. So Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson lost his way, is not smart enough to understand. So let's see here. President Trump is done with Tucker Carlson, declaring that the podcaster has lost his way. Trump told ABC reporter on Thursday that Carlson was no longer MAGA and that he's known this for a long time. Tucker has lost his way, Trump said, according to Carl. I knew that a long time ago, and he's not MAGA. MAGA is saving our country. MAGA is making our country great again. MAGA is America first, and Tucker is none of those things. And Tucker is really not smart enough to understand that. Damn. Carlson has been an outspoken critic of Trump's strikes on Iran, saying that the operation is absolutely disgusting and evil. Carlson has also claimed without evidence that the decision to launch strikes was driven by is it Shabbat, a Jewish outreach organization. Is that how I say it? Carlson campaigned for Trump in 2024, but has been increasingly critical of the president, especially on foreign policy. Carlson, however, has made several visits to the White House in recent months where he has reportedly met with the president. Those meetings were reportedly part of a failed effort to convince the president to not strike Iran. Trump's statements represents a major change of heart since last November when the president declined to criticize Carlson for his interview with anti-Semitic commentator Nick Fuentes. Now, see, this is where the Daily Wire pisses me off. This is the Daily Wire doing what the mainstream does. Okay. Why do you have to label, like, again, not a fan of Nick Fuentes. Okay. Why do you have to label him that in order to mention his name? Why do you have to do that? The Daily Wire gets mad when mainstream outlets call Ben Shapiro a far right-wing racist commentator. It's the same fucking tactic. Just say Nick Fuentes' name. But no, you're playing the same game that the fucking left plays, and it's bullshit. And I'm sick and tired of it. Pisses me off. You can tell him to, you can't tell him who to interview, the president said last November, adding that people are controversial. Trump, in the same interview, said Carlson had said good things about me over the years. So, yeah, so it's starting to all fall apart. However, I'm not sure how this plays out. I think that Trump has been I think Trump likes Tucker overall, but you can't deny that the criticism that Tucker's been throwing against Trump lately has just been kind of crazy. But I'm not sure what's going on with Tucker. It's a very, very difficult situation, very strange, but he is definitely, my issue with Tucker is, honestly, it's weird because it's the Fuentes interview. The Fuentes interview bothered me because he had a very, very, very nice conversation with Fuentes, but then as soon as the conversation was over, he started talking bad about Fuentes again, literally right after it. And it showed a two-faced nature. And I'm like, well, if you had those problems with him, why did you have an interview with him and play all nice? And then as soon as the interview was over, you start talking bad about him again. It was a very strange situation that I did not like. And it was, again, have to qualify when it comes to Fuentes. Not a fan, but that bothered me. And so, I guess we'll see how it all plays out. But Trump seems to be pretty unhappy with Tucker. So time will tell. Raptors Hammer got that. Flag Ninja says Trump made "You're Fired" famous, and she's still in the administration. Then she wasn't fired; it just reassigned. That's my feeling on it too, unless we're told differently. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure says, instead of recruiting streamers, I got that one. Gearmaster says, did you see what Pritzker said about Kristi Noem? Defiant L's posted. I didn't, but I'll check it out. Connect says, should Rumble be like Kick? I mean, I can't say that Kick is doing fine, but Kick feels a little more like, okay, Kick's UI is better than Rumble's. Their community building is better than Rumble's. And I feel that when you go to Kick, you're getting a little bit more diversity of content than when you go to Rumble, because when you go to Rumble, it's an onslaught of right-wing commentators. That's all it is. So, yeah. So I think they're doing a better job. I don't think it's great, but they're doing a better job. Marvin says, Carlson had me leery when he was glazing Russia before his Putin interview, then immediately lost me after the Nick interview. I don't even like Nick, but he was very, exactly. 100%. Jim P says, could Gnome out as an agreement with Democrats to get funding back to DHS? Her behavior made it easier to happen. Maybe. Rumble should have reached out to, who is that? I don't know who that is. But yeah, whatever. You guys know my feelings on Rumble, so who cares, right? Nobody gives a shit anymore. So we'll just leave it at that. What is this? See, again, leading report takes things out of context. So I was going to show their headline, but leading report takes things so much out of context that I don't trust them sometimes. So I'll see if I can. They're saying like Trump said this about Kristi Noem, but I don't know if that's true. If he would have said that, then why wouldn't it just fucking? Why wouldn't he fire her if that was the case? Trump says Cuba is going to fall too. I did hear reports of him saying that earlier. Jeremy can't read that word. What word? Again, it's not about can I read it or not. When I am thinking I might be getting trolled into something, I am hesitant. Simple as that. Why am I hesitant? Because I don't want this to happen to me.
All right. Smelly Negro. I love that name. Which hockey movie chant, I swallow knickers come? No idea.
And that's why there's two reasons I skip words. One, I can't read them, or two, I'm not familiar with that one. So I gotta be better safe than sorry. Okay. Better safe than sorry. So there you have it. That's why. Bro walked right into it. Oh, he did, man. He said, I love that name. And again, as a streamer, that is him just laughing off because he knows he said something, but he doesn't know what he said. So he's like, it's an awkward, like, yeah. Just say Munchie Ninja fast. I can't believe I said that one that time. That's the greatest thing ever. Oh man, Munchie Ninja Tax. Yes. All right, what is this right here? I don't know who this is, but I saw some people retweeting this. What is this? Let's see. This is a clip from Piers Morgan, and I don't know what it's in reference to. Hang on. What is this?
So if you want to actually sit here and speak, let's give the people an entire picture of what's actually taking place on the ground and not just blow smoke up their butt.
I think it's hard for people to buy into the case for war when it's such a transparent crime and the pretext is so incoherent.
I don't know any of these people. I saw this retweeted by one of the people I follow. I don't really know who these people are.
Administration in recent days has given us so many different explanations. First, they claimed that there was intelligence of an imminent threat to U.S. troops in the region. Then, when the Pentagon briefed Congress, they had to admit that that was not true. Then Marco Rubio said the other day that, well, we knew that Israel was going to attack, and if Israel attacks, then Iran would retaliate against our forces. So to protect our forces, we had to strike first. And then that was immediately walked back because who signed up to go to war for Israel? And Trump even admitted that that was a lie when he said that he struck first because he...
Philip said the one on the left is Piers Morgan. Okay, that's about the only person there. Good call. Good call.
He thought that Iran was going to attack, which is also a lie because the Trump administration has been lying the whole time. They lied when they went to these negotiations last week in Geneva. They told the Iranians, and I know this from sources who were there, the Omani foreign minister who brokered this has also confirmed this. They told the Iranians that they were okay to just discuss the nuclear issue. And on that front, Iran was totally accommodating. Just as Iran respected the Iran nuclear deal that was reached back in 2015, which even the Trump administration in its first term had to certify that Iran was respecting, Iran also was willing once again to have a new JCPOA that would have resolved the nuclear issue. And Wickoff and Kushner pretended as if that was okay. Meanwhile, though, the Trump administration's real goal, which they've been planning for months with Israel, is regime change because Iran insists on the right to defend itself from Israeli aggression. That's why the issue of Iran's ballistic missiles has been such a big issue because Iran can defend itself. And Iran is among a small number of states that stands up.
Why do these people just, these people that are always talking about human rights issues and all of that shit, but they seem to like they want Iran to like defend itself. What are you talking about? They're murdering people. They're oppressing people. It's crazy that they just jump through hoops. Again, I still have the same stance that I've always had. Like, no offense to anybody else. I tend to not give a shit what's going on around the world, okay? But The people that I voted for, I choose to trust them when they say that there are, threats. And then if you look at the consistency of President Trump over the last 40 years of talking about Iran and their nuclear capabilities, then it's like, okay, simple as that.
To U.S.-Israeli hegemony in the region. And that's why, from the point of view of the Trump administration, they had to go. And that's why they lied us into another disastrous regime change war that threatens, just as the Iraq War did, to blow up the region. It's already caused so many casualties. We have to stress one of the first victims of this assault, this aggression, was a girls' school in Iran, where around 165 children were killed. And we all know the U.S. and Israel did it. They haven't denied.
You don't have any proof of that. We don't know what happened. And the fact that you are just claiming that because it fits your narrative, there is no proof of that whatsoever.
Doing it, which to me is confirmation that they were behind this. And there's many more people who will lose their lives simply because Israel and the U.S. couldn't accept diplomacy. They couldn't accept a peaceful way to resolve an issue that really was an issue because Iran didn't even have a nuclear weapons program, as Trump's own intelligence community asserted just 1 year ago.
Okay.
Do you mind if I respond to that,
I would say, well, yeah, you can, yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, you brought up the JCPOA, and I understand that Donald Trump ended up backing out of the JCPOA, but let's be honest for a second here. The United States and Iran weren't the only countries that were in the JCPOA, were there? We actually had the entire EU, we had the UK, we had Germany, we had Russia, we had China, and all of those countries were also beholden to the JCPOA with Iran. So they weren't actually keeping up to that over time after the US backed out. So if you're going to blame the United States of America for the reason Iran decided to start enriching uranium, we're not going to hold any of these other countries to account. You also
except it was the.
Hold on, I didn't interrupt you.
He-
Hold on, no, I'm not holding.
Yeah. So this guy got to talk uninterrupted. And now somebody responds to him and he starts interrupting immediately. That sounds like someone that is not confident in the points that they made.
No, I didn't interrupt you. And then we'll take it up a step further. We'll say that he lied to the Omanians, the mediators over inside of Oman. Why? Why would you say that? Because the fact is that Iran refused to discuss anything but the nuclear program. That's it, just uranium enrichment. Just uranium enrichment. That's the only thing they wanted. And the Trump administration told them time and time again that that is not going to do it. That's not going to be enough. Further, you said that there was no imminent threat to U.S. troops. When was the last time you were in the Middle East wearing a uniform, carrying a rifle?
Well, I was in the Middle East just a few months ago.
When was the last time you were in the Middle East wearing a uniform, carrying a rifle? No. It was a simple question. If you can say never, that's great, because I have been. For both my country and yours. And so when I'm over there, I'll tell you what the number one cause of U.S. casualties over inside of the Middle East was, and that was the IRGC. 1 out of every 5 to every 6 U.S. service members wounded or killed in the Middle East came from the IRGC. I'm sure you're aware of this. You just chose not to bring that up. So yes, there's always an imminent threat. No. I'm not done. There is an imminent threat to U.S. troops over inside the Middle East, and there always has been, and there's going to continue to be. They have killed thousands. So don't sit here and pretend like they're not an imminent threat to, U.S. troops. Then we can address your Israeli aggression, and they got to have ballistic missiles for Israeli aggression. Remind me again, is it the IRGC that funds Hezbollah, the largest non-state terror organization in the world? Is it the IRGC that funds the Houthis down in Yemen? What about Hamas? Do we want to talk about those? Because
he's getting cooked like big time.
Those, my friend, are a direct threat. And that, my friend, is aggression, whether it be through proxy organizations or not. So if you want to actually sit here and speak, let's give the people an entire picture of what's actually taking place on the ground and not just blow smoke up their butt.
Do you see how he keeps looking down? See, people like this guy, they can't stand when someone has the ability to counter their bullshit. They get uncomfortable. They start getting nervous. They start looking around. They start squirming. Like they hate to have their opinions completely destroyed with facts. And it makes, just look at it. Look at right here. Like as this guy's talking, look at him. He's looking down. Look at him.
The largest non-state terror organization in the world? Is it the IRGC that funds the Houthis down in Yemen? What about Hamas?
Do we want to talk
Oh,
about
he
those?
is wrecked.
Because
He is
those,
done.
my
Let's
friend, are a direct threat. And that, my friend, is aggression, whether it be
Oh,
through
he
proxy
is
organizations
so
or not.
uncomfortable.
So if you want to actually sit here and speak, let's give the people an entire picture of what's actually taking place on the ground and not just blow smoke up their butt.
Okay, let's take. Okay, let's.
So this is the guy right here. So yeah, this is the guy that we just. I'm not familiar with him, but dude's pretty awesome. So that's good stuff right there. Hell yeah, hell yeah. All right. Well, that was awesome. Yeah, I saw somebody retweeted that, and I was like, I haven't watched this shit. I want to check this out. We do have. Hang on. He works for the far left publication, by the way. The guy in the middle, he's Canadian. That's pretty much all you need to know right there. That's pretty much all you need to know. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Dude got demolished. Yes, he did. It was pretty brutal. It was pretty brutal and pretty awesome. That was good entertainment right there. I sign off on that completely. Yeah, I saw this. I missed this tweet from AB, but right here, dear feminist, Trump just freed the most oppressed women on planet Earth, and you hated it. 100% spot on. I didn't see when AB tweeted this out, so let's see here. Well, it's funny because he just actually reposted it on Twitter. So here it is. So that's good stuff right there. And all of the feminists are like, I can't believe Trump did this. Marmillan says, know how I know this guy is full of shit. Iran immediately attacked everyone around them as soon as we struck them. They want enough defense to not be stopped when making a nuke. Dude is a tool. 100%. Ehab says, let's ignore 50 years of mass killings and abandoning agreements because the dictator Pinky promised. Yes. The base wizard says, friend's brother in the army, boots on the ground, coming. I mean, Trump's not taking it off the table, but we'll see. We'll see. Corey Wilson says, Minnesota's problems with ICE were their own causing. And if he fired Gnome over that, if feels like bending the knee, they were domestic terrorists. Minister Ron thinks says, Trump just won a major SCOTUS immigration case 9-0. Really? Hell yeah. Happy to hear that. That's damn good. Good stuff. What is this right here? 5 hours ago, NBC visibly stunned after Iranian foreign minister says he is waiting for a U.S. ground invasion. President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country? No, we are waiting for them.
President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
So you're saying that Iran is ready and willing to take on the U.S. military if there were to be ground troops?
Well, we were ready for this war even more than the previous war. So you can see, the quality of our missiles, how much they are upgraded after the last war, because we learned lots of lessons. And we are prepared for any other eventuality, even, a ground invasion. So our soldiers are prepared for any scenario. When I said that we are waiting for them, it didn't mean that we are waiting for continuation of the war. No, but we have prepared ourselves to confront with any scenario, with any eventuality, any possibility, and we know that we can handle that.
Okay.
Letting somebody else take over where we have to do it again. We can do it again, too. Nobody can stop us. There's nobody that has the capability that we have. When I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on and everybody dying, and it's like, it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible. They've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before. Letting somebody else.
He sounds like a mob boss, dude. He just sounds so chill. Like, we can do it. Nobody can stop us. Nobody can stop us.
Letting somebody else take over where we have to do it again. We can do it again, too. Nobody can stop us. There's nobody that has the capability that we have. You know, when I watch that war in Russia going on and on and on and everybody dying, and it's like, it's primitive. It's primitive. It's horrible. They've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
It's a great clip. It's such a great clip. I freaking love it, man. And my favorite meme was the one I shared a couple of days ago. It's so funny. So this is when they said the son of the Ayatollah Khomeini has been selected to replace him as supreme leader of Iran. And my response was this, because it's it soon. And it's like a horror movie, dude. Trump just standing up on top of the fucking White House, talking to reporters. And MAGA has turned this into a meme where it looks like a horror movie. It's so great. And it's just like, we're going to fucking kill you. It's amazing. Your Barmy says they should just off this guy too. It's probably going to happen. Probably going to happen. Time will tell. Okay, well, we're going to end it there, ladies and gentlemen. If you have not, go over to Rip Us In and get your CobraCast hoodie or your MegaCon t-shirt. They are only going to be available for a few more days, and then they're gone. So if you have not, link is in the pinned post. So I appreciate it. Will I go live again tonight? No guarantee, no idea. We'll see. If something pops off, I'll go live again. But I really appreciate all of you. Aaron Fever, what's up, Aaron Fever? Thanks, Jeremy, for keeping us all updated. Thank you for being here. Yeah, so what, again, you never know with me. So there could be a stream later tonight. If something happens, you know, we will obviously cover it. So if not, multiple streams tomorrow and Friday Night Tights. I will be there for Friday Night Tights. So, you know, it will happen, but you'll never know. But anyway, thank you guys. I hope you have a great day, and we will talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.